Punch it.
What is up, everybody out there? Welcome to another episode of the Sports Minorities Podcast. Excuse me. I'm your host, JC, and we're short one guy. We think he might have fallen asleep, but if he joins us later, we'll know for sure. So joining me over here, we got Nori.
What's up, everybody?
And Chicken Wing.
Your boy.
As you no doubt can tell, Rob is noticeably absent. We don't know where he is. He probably fell asleep. He happens to do that sometimes, but I wouldn't doubt it if he all of a sudden joins us.
Exactly what happened.
Okay,
Did you see the Monday night game? That's exactly what happened. He didn't want to show his face. Get out of here with that trash.
That's possible because the Bucks have been taking a beating on meme world, sports talk world, everywhere since that game.
As they should. As they should.
Unbelievable.
How dare you have that kind of offense and put up 3 points? Like against the Saints defense, the gimme defense? Mm-hmm. How dare you?
Well, we're going to be getting into that a little bit about week 9. Whether or not we feel bad for Carolina, who is next on Tampa's list. We know Brady doesn't respond to losing like that very well. So I can't see Brady losing like that twice. We'll talk all about it. With us, you can chat along with us. If you're watching us live, thanks for joining us. Live chat with us. Let us know your thoughts on week 9, week 10. And we're going to be doing, since all of our teams have hit the midway point of the season at least, we're going to be giving our midseason report cards as well. Chicken Wing's having camera issues, so he may cut out here and there from time to time. So, you good?
Good.
Okay.
The 49ers, everything's broken. Their fan stuff is broken. The team's
Their
broken.
Technology.
We just done, bro.
All right. Well, also you can chat along with us, of course, on Twitter. There goes his camera at Sports Minor Pod. You're going to be getting that a lot, bro. Let's start with week 9 for us. All of our picks actually did go. We went 10-4. Rob, of course, if you watched last week's show, thought on the show picking the Jets to beat New England. And I was watching that game not knowing that as I've said, before the game start, we can change our picks if we think, change of heart, injuries, whatever. As it turns out, Rob did change his pick, so he did go 10-4 right along with us. But for about 3.5 quarters, it looked like he was right on Monday night. Big shocker. I mean, I'm convinced the Jets for sure are tanking, and they just let it happen. What I'm even more mad about is the fact that the guy I was playing against in fantasy had Cam Newton, and those 2 rushing touchdowns, he ended up beating me by 4 points. So that's another discussion. But anyway, Nori, you're going to go last on this, but I'll say the pick that I regretted the most, I think the one that was like the hardest one, because I was back and forth on it, was Denver-Atlanta. That game could have gone either way, and for a second I thought, oh my God, Denver's going to pull this off as I was watching the score of that game change so much. So, surprise, surprise, Atlanta held on to win. I think the only other game that surprised me was Buffalo-Seattle. I could not believe Seattle shit the bed for the most part. Put some points up at the end, but yeah. Chicken Wing, Chicken Wing, any picks you regret on the weekend?
Man, all 4 of my picks, because I ended up tying with you scrubs. That's what. No, but seriously, the pick I regret the most was not believing in Lord Breezes.
Really?
Yep. I didn't believe in Lord Breezes. And what happens when you giveth? He taketh away.
They look good, man. I'm just surprised what happened, with the Tampa that way. So
hey, did y'all catch that Jameis Winston eat that W? Ate that.
Yeah,
W.
he's celebrating when he doesn't have to play because it would have been 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, or whatever the hell he puts up. He's 50-50 on that. So
Tom Brady has never lost. I don't regret that pick at all because Tom Brady has never lost to a division rival twice in his entire career, and he's been playing since the 80s. So I don't regret that pick at all. I think the smart money was on them to win or at least put up a fight. But, how dare you have all that effort all that chemistry and all that talent and put up 3 points. That's pathetic. Like the Cowboys fought harder than you. That says something.
On a
the
national TV game too.
Right.
Another thing. Yeah. So
embarrassing.
What is the pick you do regret, Nori? Because you've been kind of agonizing over this for a bit.
I honestly, like, going back and forth, I still think 9 times out of 10 I would make this pick, but the Falcons and Broncos was really, really hard. Mm-hmm. I went with Broncos because there's something about the helmet with the Falcons that just they blow a lead. And the Falcons, pretty much, if you're a Falcons fan, if you ever want to assure you that they're going to win a game, I'll pick against them. Mm-hmm. That week, the Falcons will win because I'm 0-9 picking the Falcons the correct way this season. So,
yeah, an interesting thing. I did read an article about this. Obviously, since they fired Dan Quinn, they've actually won some games with the interim head coach, who is a person of color, is a black coach. And people are wondering, okay, he's won some games. Obviously, the one that sticks out is the Detroit thing. Todd Gurley not taking a knee properly, getting in the end zone ends up costing him. Then again, you could put that on the Falcons defense for not stopping Detroit.
For sure.
But if this interim coach gets them at least with the chance at the playoffs now, they're not completely out of it, obviously. This is a tough division. Mm-hmm. But if they can get to a wild card or at least have a chance, gets them to a winning season with the talent they have, I would hope he's earned a promotion. And we don't have to go through this whole fiasco where there's the controversy around the Rooney Rule and hiring a black coach. I think if he gets these guys to play for him when they weren't playing for Dan Quinn, you have to give this guy the job. I mean,
I think this team can go 8-8. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Is that enough?
I'll never make the right pick towards them, but they can go 8-8 because there's a ton of talent for them to start out 0-5 in the first place. Like, no team in the NFL disappointed more. Not even the Cowboys. No one disappointed more than the Falcons because you have probably the best wide receiver core, that I can think of in decades. And going 0-5 was like, I don't know about that. That was weird.
Just pick against them for the rest of the season.
If
you want to give them a shot.
The way they'll win out.
It always goes opposite what Nori picks. That's kind of the curse on
exactly. So just go ahead and pick against them the rest of the week. Go ahead and already mark it.
Falcons. The last time I picked the Falcons and I was confident and I should have been right was the Super Bowl. Last time I knew it. I knew they're the better team.
For a half, it looked like you were right, but
I knew they were the better team. How did you lose 28? How were you up 23 at the half? I'll never get over that. I'm not even a Falcons fan, and that is scarred in my heart.
Well,
scarred.
Not
the rest of the internet.
I'll real quickly say I did find a TikTok that was hilarious. It was Little John saying, if Georgia turns blue this election, y'all got to stop with that 28-3 bullshit. All right. So I thought that was hilarious, but sports fans will never forget, no matter what side of the aisle you are.
I'm not even a Patriots fan. I'm more brokenhearted when they, should have given the ball to Marshawn Lynch. Yeah. Brady has some championships he really shouldn't have.
No, I'm haunted forever by the Oilers blowing a 31-3 lead in Buffalo years ago. I think it was the first time Buffalo went to a Super Bowl, one of the 4 straight. Mm-hmm. And as an Oilers Titans fan, I was haunted by that for so many years. And then the Falcons blew it in the Super Bowl. I was like, okay, maybe it's not so bad. So I mean,
Are you sure? I always remember the 1 yard short incident.
We were closer to winning. So
okay.
I mean, we didn't blow a lead in the Super Bowl like your team did last year. I'm just gonna say that. Y'all celebrating
we didn't blow a lead.
Yeah, blew a lead.
We didn't blow a lead.
No, we didn't blow a lead.
You're at my house watching it.
No, we didn't blow a lead.
No, you're just in
It's
denial.
Kansas City. No, it was Kansas City. We didn't blow a lead.
Kyle Shanahan.
I recall the meme celebrating interception.
Jimmy G. If we're gonna be real, it was Jimmy G. It is all Jimmy G.
Let me say this live right now. Kyle Shanahan could somehow find the cure for cancer and screw it up. Straight up.
Nah.
He's no Chuck Norris. So
every choke has been associated with Kyle Shanahan. Because Jimmy G don't play defense.
No.
Jimmy G don't play quarterback either.
He got you there. Don't hit the guy.
He had us all pulled.
He's not exactly Trent Dilfer. He does a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He is no Trent Dilfer, but
he's a good quarterback. And they didn't play. But anyway, we got way off point. But that was my.
That happens.
That was my kind of regret pick because I can't get a read in Atlanta. So
it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, you don't have to worry about it this week. They're on a bye. But before we get into our Week 10 picks, quick overall standings. We all went 10-4 as I mentioned. So keeping the same rate. I'm at 91 and 41. Nori's still sitting second at 89 and 43. Rob 87 and 45, and Chicken Wing at 86 and 46. And we're hanging in there. It's close. It's close. So
right there.
Yep.
We're closer than the NFC East.
I don't know.
Actually, NFC East is, I don't know about that. No, NFC East is like everybody's within one game of each other.
That is true.
Another terrible chicken wing analogy.
Yeah. Let's real quick before we get into that, was Dallas and Pittsburgh, was that Dallas having some life with Garrett Gilbert, or was that Pittsburgh taking it too easy?
Pittsburgh taking it way too easy.
Yeah.
And honestly, Garrett Gilbert did give him a lot of life, because do you have any tape on him? Like, he had a lot of coordination with the team.
Not since his SMU days. So yeah, I mean,
he wasn't out there balling either, but I think it's a bad combination of the Cowboys not wanting to, score 6 points, then 9 points, and the next week we need to actually show we're a competitive team.
Yeah,
and the Steelers going there thinking they're on vacation. I think it's both.
I'm a Longhorn guy, and I've never had anything bad to say about Garrett Gilbert. Colt McCoy got hurt in the national championship game against Bama. Gilbert almost brought us back, and I think what sucked for him when he took over as starter the following year at Texas decided to change their entire offense, and if they had just left it to what we had been running, Gilbert ran that in high school. He could have run it at Texas. It didn't work out for him. He went to SMU, which was much better for him. So he's not a bad quarterback. I think he's great as a backup, and he can keep you in games. Obviously, he was just going against the Steelers, who, even with the one-legged Big Ben Roethlisberger, was going to come back and beat you when they took a half off. So
they're too good.
Yeah,
they're too good. When they're trying, they're too good.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we're all going to forget the Dallas defense actually stepped up this game. I mean, we're all going to forget that, right?
No, yeah. They played very unlike Dallas.
Yeah, exactly. They did, and their offense actually scored touchdowns too. So,
unlike a 36th ranked team, yes, I said a 36th ranked NFL defensive team, they really stepped up and showed Pittsburgh. Don't question it. Okay,
36,
we got Bama.
36.
Yes, we got
How
Bama
many teams
that's ahead of them.
Are you counting the practice squads or what?
We're counting the practice
NFL
squad.
Europe doesn't count. It's not around anymore.
We're counting Clemson.
XFL.
Okay.
All right.
All right. XFL. I'm just saying they played like they're middle of the pack defense, which is good.
All right. Well, let's get into week 10. Teams on the bye are Atlanta, Sonora. You don't got to worry about that this week. Dallas, Kansas City is on a bye, and the Jets. So, unfortunately, if your team defense is on a bye and you were looking to pick up the team that's playing against the Jets, you're going to have a hard time this week. I know, because in one of my leagues, I was looking for that team and I realized, crap, the Jets are on a bye. Now I have to actually think. So I think at this point, the Trevor Lawrence / Justin Fields sweepstakes are going to come down to Dallas and the Jets at this point, but we'll see. We'll see. So,
since you brought that up,
yeah,
actually, I actually do have a question for the both of you. Do you think if Dallas does tank and take the top 2 picks, would they draft a quarterback as their first rounder? I bet you it's a no.
I honestly can't entertain Dallas even tanking, because that franchise is way too proud to tank. There's the New York, you can notice it with the Jets, because Woody Johnson is a terrible owner. And unfortunately, because we put up with the Knicks, why not put up with the Jets? So it didn't used to be that way, but it's that way now. Dallas, Jerry Jones, way too prideful. He hates losses.
Publicly, I don't think he'll outwardly tank.
The rest of their schedule is going to say they're going to tank.
I mean, if they don't pull out a win or two, maybe. But where Dallas finishes, if they're still within like a top whatever pick, Justin Fields, if Justin Fields or Trevor,
we'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
top 5.
I think
top 5. If Justin
Fields, where I pick left tackle.
If Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence are available, and if Trevor Lawrence tries to deal his way out of the Jets the way Eli Manning did out of the Chargers years ago, it's going to be hard for Dallas to pass up.
But it's going to cost all of Dallas's. I mean, yeah, Dallas would jump on it, but I think it would cost them their whole rebuild, because Dallas doesn't realize they didn't do it. Why? They're gonna give up at least 3 or 4 first-round picks. Even the Jets won't be that stupid.
They have to hope one of those guys falls to them, or they get into a top 2 pick so they can pick one of them.
It's going to have to be the
That's
Jets.
What I'm saying.
Yeah.
If they were a top 2 pick, because here's the thing:
would you take a quarterback?
Dak $40 million for 1 year, or would you pay Trevor Lawrence $40 million over 4 years?
Right, but it's not a matter issue of Dallas has so many needs besides just, first of all, they had an issue even paying Dak in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
The guy now is more than making a case that you should have paid me, because in reality, he kept them in games when they really weren't that good. Because Ezekiel Elliott clearly is being paid to carry that team, and he's not doing it. So I don't I don't know if it's smart for the Cowboys. As much as I hate them, I don't know if it's smart to pull a reverse Herschel Walker and trade 3, 4 first round, second round picks for a guy when you have so many needs to rebuild that team. I don't know if that's smart. They have a lot of needs.
Got to comment on
or trade down.
Got to comment on their facts. NFC least already forgot about it. So good stuff. Keep it coming. All right, into week 10 picks. This is going to be an interesting schedule on Sunday. I'll let you guys know why when we get to it. We'll start with Thursday. One time I have a little tradition where I'm making tostadas because my Titans are playing on Thursday night. So Indianapolis Colts heading to Nashville to play against my Titans. It's going to be on Fox, NFL Network, and Amazon Prime. I liked what I saw from Tennessee last week out of Chicago, returning home, getting settled. Obviously, the Bears got like a touchdown late, couldn't get the onside kick, and I thought the Titans played really good. That trade we got, Desmond King, he came up big, returned the fumble for a touchdown on defense. Our passing defense looked a lot better. Granted, yes, it was the Bears, but we'll see. This is going to be a big test, the first time we're playing the Colts, and these games go either way, but I'm going with my Titans, obviously. I like them at home. I feel like this may be a season split. We'll win here. We'll lose in Indy. So getting first dibs with the fact that we were at home last week and going to be at home for a Thursday night on short week. I like how we look. So I'm going with Tennessee on Thursday. So Nori, how you going on this one?
I'm agreeing. The Colts have not proven to me from pick a team. I'm usually looking at consistency. I never know which Rivers we're getting. I'm still going to hang my hat on that. The Titans are overall pretty consistent, minus the blunder with the Bengals. The Steelers, I understand because they beat everybody, but the Bengals, that was kind of, I don't know. They hung on and beat Chicago. I see them beating the Colts too.
All right, and Chicken Wing.
So considering that Vegas has lines at even pick between the two teams, I'm going to agree with Nori on this one to a point. The Colts really haven't proven themselves, but defense-wise, they are still better, stacked-wise, talent-wise, compared to Tennessee. It's really going to come down to, can they stop the run? Because they can't. They can stop the pass. Mm-hmm. They just can't stop the run. So can they stop King Henry? I don't think they can, and I think that's going to be the driving factor why Tennessee is going to pull out with this one.
Sure hope so, man. All right, now on to Sunday. Now here's the weird, quirky thing about Sunday. All of the noon games for us, the early games, are all going to be on Fox. There's going to be no games on CBS because CBS, with COVID, is covering the delayed Masters. So the Masters tournament, there will only be 3 CBS games. They're all going to be at the 3 o'clock time slot. So there's going to be 2 Fox games for us and 1 CBS game in the late afternoon. So just think about that. The map is really weird, obviously, but this is like one of those things where COVID kind of screws the scheduling up a bit. So, excuse me, 6 games at the noon time, starting with Houston going to Cleveland. Cleveland favored by 3.5. I hate to do this, but I'm going to say right now, Houston scares me a bit going into trying to win this division. They've been playing a lot better since they let my favorite Texans coach Bill O'Brien go. And granted, Cleveland is coming off a bye at home, but ever since they kind of laid an egg against the Raiders at home and the way Houston's playing right now, I think the Texans are starting to play like they have something to prove. J.J. Watt making those comments that he's not there for a rebuild seems to have inspired this team. So I am picking the Texans on the road in Cleveland. I'll be happy if the Browns pull off a win, but I'm going with Houston on this one. Nori, what about you?
Honestly, I hate that we think the same. It bothers me every week. I really want to pick the Browns, but I don't understand why they're favored because the Texans, I think, are playing a little bit better. I think they're playing more inspired football since, the Titans MVP, Bill O'Brien, dipped.
The AFC South MVP at this point.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm going to go with the Texans, too. I think the Texans are – I love my Giants to death. I love Bill Parcells to death. If you are as good as your record, maybe that's good for professional athletes. But as a fan, I disagree because there's a lot of extenuating circumstances. So, yeah, to wrap it up, I'm going to go with the Texans, too.
All right. And Chicken Wing, what about you?
I'm going to go with the Browns in this one. They have a lot more to play for at this stage of the season. They're halfway. If the season would have ended on Monday, they would have missed the playoffs. And so I think with a combination between, like you said, JC, they're at home, coming off that bye week, so the players are a little bit healthier, obviously, taking advantage of the fact that Baltimore took a loss to Pittsburgh earlier this season. I think it's a combination of all that that's going to light a fire under them to stay competitive when it comes to getting into the playoffs. So I'm going to go with Cleveland on this pick here.
All right. Washington headed to Detroit after getting swept by Nori's Giants. Congrats, Nori, on that one. Detroit favored by 3.5. Washington is going to be basically battling with Dallas for the worst team in the NFC least. So I got to go Detroit at home on this. Washington, after their opening win, has just looked like shit. So plain and simple, I'm going with Detroit. Nori?
This is my dulcet reach of the week, but I'm going to actually pick the Washington football team.
Okay, wow.
The reason, I know that's a dulcet.
Fighting games out there.
Reach.
That's a dulcet standing fierce. Mr.
That is a reach right there.
Mr. Fantastic. The reason for that
I like that
is because Alex Smith wasn't consistent before, but obviously had to get his legs under him. He hasn't played in a year and a half. But once he started, and the Giants have a respectable defense this year, he shredded them. He reminds me of this generation's Chad Pennington. I have so much respect for Alex Smith, and I kept waiting for him to screw up. And, honestly, he forced things that he shouldn't have, but he doesn't consistently do that if you look at his consistent career. I think he was just trying to make something out of nothing in the last few minutes of the game. Mm-hmm. If I'm telling you now that Alex Smith would have started last week, Giants would have lost. So Detroit doesn't impress me in any way, shape, or form. I think they only beat up on bad teams, but I don't think Washington is that bad. I'm going to go with Washington football team.
Was that scary for you when Alex Smith came in and it was like a change of pace? Yeah.
Terrifying. I would rather anybody else but Alex Smith come in because he has a noodle of an arm, but that guy is a surgeon within 30 yards. It's amazing to watch him play.
All right. Next, Jacksonville going to Green Bay. Green Bay's favored by 13.5. Is anybody taking the Jags on the road in Lambeau on this? Huh?
Did my pick for Washington and the Lions?
Oh no, he didn't. I'm sorry. My bad. I thought he did before.
Oh no, it was all good. I mean, I was just enjoying listening to Nori and preaching about Washington.
My bad. Chicken wing. You going to Washington?
That reach.
We're going to Detroit.
I hate this pick because Vegas doesn't have a line on it yet, which is surprising.
3.5 on Yahoo. Detroit favored by 3.5.
Wasn't Stafford out for COVID?
I think he's back now. I think he was on the list, but I think he's back. I haven't seen otherwise. I'd have to check on that, but I think he's back.
Even then, I wouldn't change my pick unless something happens to Alex Smith. But that's me. But go ahead, Chickling.
Yeah.
No, I mean I don't have a pick right now. Currently, I don't have enough information on this game to make a solid, definitive pick. So I will be up in the air in this one.
Which way are you leaning right now?
Well, it depends. If Stafford is starting, it's going to go Detroit. But at the same time, if he's not, then I would have to lean Washington only because of two consistencies: Riverboat Ron and Alex Smith. Okay. I think, like Nori said, maybe Alex Smith was with San Francisco for a good chunk of his career, and so, like what Nori said, he's a surgeon, bro. You get a good. He's never had it. No, he's a great game manager. I mean, the guy is very consistent, upper middle of the pack, like B tier quarterback. But given the talent that he currently has, versus the mediocre defense that Detroit has, Alex Smith will pick it apart easily. So it just depends on if Stafford starts. That's where
I'd give anything personally to have Alex Smith as a backup on the Giants. To teach Daniel Jones, like he's one of the smartest guys for a football IQ I've ever seen since Chad Pennington, honestly.
Okay. Now on to Jacksonville at Green Bay. Green Bay favored by 13.5 at home against the Jags, the lowly Jags. Anybody here taking the Jags to get an upset in Green Bay?
I'm not reaching for that one.
I really want to because how I feel about. You know how I feel about Green Bay. I really want to reach for this one, but I just can't. I don't have enough new information yet because that new quarterback, that new quarterback for Jacksonville was awesome. I don't know if that was the Texans get caught with their pants down or what that was because the Texans were not. They've been playing really good football lately, so you can't just say, "Oh, it's the Texans." Like, no, like Jacksonville balled out last week. That was a really competitive, good game, and I'm not convinced that Green Bay, it's hard because Green Bay got totally embarrassed by Tampa Bay, who got embarrassed by the Saints. It's hard to get a read on them, but I don't have enough information the safe pick is Green Bay. I'm gonna have to go with that.
Yeah, Jacksonville, they have some weird knack for getting a rookie quarterback out of nowhere. Last year was Uncle Rico,
right?
And then they kind of flounder off. But I mean, they haven't really had a consistent quarterback since Byron Leftwich, I have to say. So fellow Crohn's warrior, by the way, Byron Leftwich is. So, but since then, it's been one of those. Okay, we got a shot here, it doesn't work out. The Blake Bortles experiment, and they're just kind of shuffling them in and out. They can't get a consistent quarterback, so. You might be onto something if this guy balls out, but I don't see Green Bay just blowing it at home the way they did to Minnesota 2 weeks ago. Coming back home, like you got to do something, So, all right, let's see here. Oh, Philly going into New York. Nori, this is your Giants. You got to pick first on this one. Your Giants are, Philly's favored by 3, and you guys at home. So, I've been saying you guys are starting to play a little bit better. It's getting there. How do you think your Giants can take down the division leader, Philadelphia Eagles?
I think they've beaten us the last 9 or 10 times in a row, and it was just frustrating because they didn't even beat us bad. The last 4 games, including Dallas, we had leads, convincing leads, and we choked them away. And we're now learning how to close out our games. And I think Philly is just another team we have to beat. They are struggling just as much as us as far as consistency, but I think the Giants are playing better and better each week. We adjusted our offensive line to where we're really, really playing well. And I think the Tampa game is the one that kind of started it all as far as, hey, look how good we can actually be. Mm-hmm. And they really should have beat Tampa also. So I think they're going to close out Philly, and I think they're going to win this game. I got the Giants.
You're going to hate that I'm thinking the same way you are, but I am picking your Giants. But I've been saying it's one of those things. It's just tweak. They're getting closer, It's going to flip. Tampa was the wake-up call. I think your Giants are going to make a run at the division, which,
they put it together. I don't think it's like overnight. I didn't think. Mm-hmm. How do you go from being so bad and then you make a couple adjustments with some players? We have some rookie guard and we threw them in as a tackle, and now they're playing great. So I don't get it, but it's happening. So whatever.
That's the history of the franchise. It was at 2011 when you said we're going 4-12, and then all of a sudden they hit and they won the Super Bowl. So it's one of those things where they just hit. So this game, obviously Philly's coming off a bye, but division games can go either way. I like your Giants at home on this one, and this will jumpstart it. So, Chicken Wing?
I'm going to say this: if your stadium cripples Carson Wentz, you're definitely taking this game, just like how you crippled half my defense. So
we broke Dak. We broke
Dak on the road, by the way, and it was a former Titan that did that, and Logan Ryan felt horrible about it. So.
Wentz can be broken if the weather changes, so that won't even be our fault. Wentz has never played a full season. That ain't our fault. So
I'm just saying. Your stadium is cheating. Okay, your stadium is. Y'all have planned this. You know what? Screw the Niners. They're not going to go to Super Bowl again this year. Boom! Both my defensive linemen goes off.
We're basically taking our ball and going home. If we can't play, nobody plays.
Okay.
So.
True. Very true. God, I'm not going to go with you two on this one.
Okay.
I get it.
I think here's the thing though, because I agree with what a lot of y'all are saying, or not a lot of y'all, but a lot of what y'all are saying. Y'all's defense is winning the games. The one problem I have, which holds me back on this pick, is Daniel Jones.
I know.
That man should own a bakery. As many turnovers as he's been churning every week. Just hey, you want an apple one? Here you go. Let me go ahead and get you a strawberry one. Pick six.
It's not Jameis Winston. Come on, give him some credit.
He's on pace to break Ryan Leaf's record as far as how many games you start and how many picks you're throwing. He's on pace to break it. So you're right. If no turnovers, we have a shot at really, really beating them. Because even with 3 turnovers, we almost beat Philly last time. And it's amazing that we beat teams with all these turnovers. But if we can finally another game where we clean that up, we should convincingly beat Philly.
And your defense is what's keeping y'all competitive. And JC is right. He has a point. He's not Jameis Winston because Daniel Jones can't throw 30 for 5,000 yards. He's not on pace for that. So
what if I told you? Yeah.
Go ahead.
It was what if I told you You could throw for 30 touchdowns and still throw for 30 interceptions and still not find a job as a free agent.
Yes.
You could throw for 30 touchdowns and lose your job the next season. This is James Winston.
I'm telling you, like, until I feel confident in his ability to either run the ball and not make a stupid decision, or just to stay in the pocket and just fall with the ball and stop trying to make a play out of nothing. I'm gonna have to go with Philly. Their offense is keeping them in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it because I actually do want to go for the Giants and then be right on my prediction from 8 years ago, but we'll get to that part in a little bit later on in the show. So I'm gonna go with Philly on that one.
Yeah, the Giants are running the ball too. Before we couldn't even run the ball, but now we're running the ball. We're at 177 yards against Washington. Where's this team been? So I think now finally. I
mean, really, that's Washington though. Like, that's a bad example.
No, they're not. They're not that bad.
I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying that's Washington's defense. Like,
somehow they can't beat us, but they were.
Sometimes it's one of those things. Like, no matter how good you're playing, one team can always beat you. I mean,
Daniel Jones is 4-0. Daniel Jones is 4-0 against Washington.
I mean, we never beat Andrew Luck. I mean, in the biggest tears of happiness I've had, besides my kids being born over the last few years, was
when he said I'm retiring. Why? Because it's Tuesday.
Yeah. Andrew Luck retiring and the Texans trading DeAndre Hopkins. Those are like the greatest football moments for me of the last few years. So yeah.
That man popped a beer as soon as he heard that. Traded to the who?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. It's Chicken Wings problem now. All right.
Yep.
I hate you so much.
I will say locally, they're going to show us Houston and Cleveland. So unfortunately, Nora, you're going to have to watch like Red Zone or find somewhere else Sunday ticket to watch the Giants. But that should be a good game, though. I'm interested to see that one. So now the last of the noon games and one that most of the country is going to see is Tampa Bay going into Carolina. Big division game right now. Carolina brought it to KC. Unfortunately, Christian McCaffrey is going to be out with an injury. I think that's pretty much been confirmed. And Tampa, like I said at the beginning of the show, I don't see Tom Brady losing twice. He hasn't lost twice in a row so far this season. I don't see it happening now. He's going to come out and respond. I feel very bad for the Carolina Panthers being at home. Tampa's favored by 4. I'm going with Tampa to win this one. I'm sure Rob would too, wanting his team to bounce back. Nori, where are you going?
I'm actually leaning towards the Bucks, and that's very unfortunate because, like, I really, really want to think the Panthers can win this. I smell an upset. I think the Panthers are. I'm very happy Bridgewater's doing so well with the Panthers because I think he was an underrated quarterback, just in a bad situation with the Minnesota. I don't see the Bucks losing this, but again, I didn't see them getting only 3 points against the Saints either. So
yeah,
the Bucks are another team I'm having a hard time getting a read on. So on paper, they're the safer pick. I'm going to go with the Bucks.
Chicken Wing, your camera's injured like your Niners. But while you're fixing that, we can hear you. Let us know what your pick is for this game.
This one, I am gonna roll with you. I mean, it sucks. Bridgewater is in the current situation that he's in, but hey, he's been playing like, I don't know, man. This is a brand new Bridgewater I haven't seen in like forever. God forbid his injury that put him down for a whole year. But
he won 5-2 last year.
Yeah,
he won.
Mm-hmm.
He's good.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He's always been decent. Every team he's touched, he's always been decent. Like, this is the team that he actually has the least weapons with, and he's still doing work. And like what JC said, the
Patriots have to regret not paying him instead of Newton. They have to regret that because he was a free agent.
Yep,
they should have paid him. Should have paid him. That was stupid.
He was. But this one it's too many weapons versus not enough weapons. That's what it boils down to me for this one. So, like what you said, Tampa Bay is not going to lose twice. If they do, everybody's going to be shocked. But at the same time, we all don't get a point, and I'll still stay with you.
I'll tell you one thing that Bill Belichick doesn't regret, and that's quitting on the Jets before he took a job, because he's made a point to say that in a podcast.
Yes, I heard that.
I'm telling you, man.
I heard that. Hi, Maria.
That was the creepiest, top 10 creepiest things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God. All right. Hey, Maria. See you poking her out around there.
So. She doesn't watch football at all, so she always just says go sports. So.
Okay. She watches the Spurs, though. Yeah.
She likes the Spurs. Yeah. And she likes my Giants when they win, because when I don't win, things get thrown in the house. So.
All right, now on to the Sunday late afternoon games. The first three we'll talk about are going to be on CBS in the afternoon. Denver going into Vegas to play the Raiders. Denver back-to-back road games going to be in the division, but the Raiders right now I think have the best shot to take over the division from KC. At least give them a run for their money. I like Vegas at home. Granted, Denver came back against the Chargers and the Falcons. This is not the Chargers and the Falcons. I like the Raiders at home, so I'm going with Las Vegas on this one. Nori.
This is my second favorite game I want to watch this week. I think this will be close. I don't know why the Raiders are overwhelming favorites. I don't agree with that because I think
they're favored by 5, actually. Yeah. So maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. But maybe it's a home thing. I don't know. But the Raiders just been a little more consistent. And John Gruden's finally presenting an actual good football team that he allegedly signed up for to make. Mm-hmm. So I think the Raiders are going to barely edge out the Broncos because the Broncos, they've fought everybody tough, including beating Tampa Bay. Right. So I'm going to go with the Raiders.
And Chickaway?
I'm going to go with the Raiders. Drew Jeezy isn't going to impress me enough this week. I think the Raiders are going to smash on them because they play them twice a year, every year. Mm-hmm. And they know enough of Denver to smack them around. So no, this one's going to be straight out Vegas.
Real quickly, your thoughts on the NFL fining the Raiders $500,000 and making them forfeit a draft pick due to repeated COVID violations? Obviously,
I'm just glad.
Serious, but
I'm glad
sucks to be them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad the NFL's at least pretending to care about COVID because they've done a pretty piss poor job, I think, so far. You have starting quarterbacks, starting tackles, actual really all-pro players getting sick, and this could have been avoided if this were done better. But that's a whole nother conversation. But I'm glad the NFL fined them. I'm really glad.
Hopefully they take it seriously because you never know with Gruden, right? I mean, he's got the Al Davis mentality. It's just win, baby, no matter what. Who cares what money you pay, right? So. Next game, Chargers going to Miami. Miami favored by 2.5. I'm surprised, honestly, the spread is a bit low with Miami being at home, but because it is the Chargers. They're traveling across the country. As it stands right now, this game is still on. I know there's a hurricane out there in the Gulf heading towards Florida, but it looks like it's going to hit north of Miami, far north. Pretty much going to be hitting around Tampa, north of Tampa. So, maybe a lot of rain on this game, but I'm going with Miami at home on this. Miami's been playing so far. They're 2-0 with Tua. Having the fact that they went across the country and got a big win in Arizona, I like Miami in this, and I'm going with the Dolphins to beat the Chargers. Nori, same for you?
Same for me, man. Yeah, Miami, they're just as good as I thought they would be with Tua. Miami took a lot of flack for starting Tua so soon. They must have saw something, other people didn't see so quickly. I thought they would wait till mid-season or whatever, but they smell blood in the water. They smell this division is up for the taking. So it was very, very impressive win over the Cardinals. I did not expect that. Expected a close game, and it was, but I didn't expect that shootout. That was impressive. I think the Dolphins are going to lose eventually, but it's not going to be to the Chargers. I'm going to go Miami.
Okay. And Chickaway?
I think the biggest – I'm going to go with Miami. And to kind of keep it short, really, they have just a number of factors that's just going to keep them competitive. Outside of being, again, we're halfway through the season, so now they have to start looking at potential playoff spots, playing for position. The other thing is they still got Fitzmagic. So if something were to happen with Tua, then they got a strong quarterback like Fitzmagic that's going to do work for him. So I just think with Herbert still, getting into the system. Sorry. And at the same time, just doing work with what he can, I think next year the Chargers will be in a better prime position to be competitive. But I think for right now, I think the team is just filling each other out. Miami has more to play for, so I think that's going to give them the edge on this one, outside of being at home.
And the other CBS game for the weekend, and one that we're going to see locally here in San Antonio, Buffalo heading into Arizona. I'm actually excited that we're going to get to watch this. I think it's most of the country is going to see this, maybe about half of them on CBS. Arizona granted, they did lose at home to Miami. That game could have gone either way. Buffalo beating Seattle at home. But Arizona is favored by 1, and I'm going with the Cardinals at home. Buffalo making that traveling. I like Arizona. You're picking. I can see you. The NFC West is tough, and I know Buffalo. They've won some games on the road, but this one right now, I mean, when they came on the road in Nashville and we just wiped the floor with them, I'm like you on Green Bay, Nori. I'm 50-50 on Buffalo. Sometimes they play great, sometimes not. And Arizona right now is trying to keep pace with the tough division, so I got the Cardinals winning at home. So, Nori, by your reaction, you're obviously picking the same as me. Same logic. Great minds think alike. So, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, the Bills are a long way from Boyle of losing Super Bowls. The true Bills and logo, which is why I can't root for them, because when my boys get to the championship, they take care of business. So I'm very happy that they're doing so well. It's awesome. I'm glad Josh Allen is shutting everybody up, including me, who thought that was an awful pick. I thought he should have went in the second or third round, but again, great job for him for not embarrassing New York like everybody else seems to be doing a good job of. So with that being said, the Cardinals are just as special as I thought they were, beating Seattle. Maybe Seattle's not as good as I thought they were, or they just ran into two really, really great teams. But it is definitely a very 2020 thing where we can't wait to see Buffalo and Arizona play football. So I thought it would be in my 70s when I said this. So that being said, I'm going to go with the Cardinals as well. I think they're super strong right now.
All right. And Chicken Wing, what about you?
So, great minds do think alike, but in this case, I'm the great mind because I'm actually going to go with Buffalo on this one. Simply put, Buffalo is the top 5 passing defense in the league. And if you could take away D-Hop and just leave Murray with
That's a big ask. That's a big ask.
That's a big
yes.
That's a big if. No one's been able to do that so far.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So with Buffalo coming with the game plan, and here's the thing. Buffalo, they didn't shut down DK, but they held him enough to where they were able to outscore him and outpace him. And so everybody knows Arizona's offense, but what we don't know still is Arizona's defense. Can they stop Buffalo? I think Buffalo's pass defense is going to be the difference maker, and I'm going to take them as the upset of the week this week. Part of me just wants Arizona to lose just because of our division rival. That's just like 10% of it. But I honestly think their pass defense is what's going to keep them competitive. And both teams have a lot to compete for. Arizona wants to take top spot at NFC West.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Buffalo wants to keep top spot at the AFC East. So I think, that's what's going to happen at that point.
You're not the only one picking Buffalo. Greatness 686 in the chat is also going with Buffalo. He typed that in as well. So he's picking Buffalo as well. So for counting his, it's 2-2 here. So, but yeah, we'll see. Either way, that's gonna be a good game. I'm glad we're getting that locally here. So
yes,
I can't wait for that.
Yeah. Now on to the other the Fox afternoon games. Seattle going into LA to take on the Rams. The Rams are actually favored by 1.5 here. But I like Seattle. Even though, yes, it is on the road, they got to respond better than the way they did in Buffalo. They did almost come back. They finally got the offense going. Mm-hmm. I know this is going to be a shootout, I think. The Seattle defense is really suspect, but it's going to matter who scores more points, and I'll take Russell Wilson all the way on this one. So I'm going with Seattle. Nori?
Honestly, it doesn't need an explanation. I believe the Rams are lying fraudsters like the Green Bay Packers. I don't think they're that good. And the Seattle is going to smoke them. I'll go with Seattle.
All right. And I should have had you pick first, Chicken Wing. It's in your division, but who do you want to lose more? Who do you want?
Oh, it doesn't matter at this point. This one's obviously Seattle.
Okay.
Seattle's offense is just way too potent to deal with for LA to deal with, and at the same time, Seattle's defense, like we just said, that defense is more suspect than Cyan killing White Among Us in the electrical room. Just calling it, bro.
All right. Greatness 686 also going Seattle on that one too. He's making it unanimous. So, all right. Game we're going to see locally here. I'm sure Chicken Wing, I'm not sure if he's happy about seeing this locally because his 49ers are going to New Orleans, who are favored by 9.5. Chicken Wing, you're going to pick this one first. It's your team. What do your Niners need to do to win, and are you going to pick them to win?
Look at his face.
Because he paused, and I was like, Do I talk or do I not talk? Do I talk?
So
Okay,
he looks like Shang Tsung just grabbed his throat and this is the end.
Oh.
Look at his face.
Go ahead, man.
No, this one's a no-brainer. Saints is going to take this one. I mean, we have literally half the practice squad playing, and then we have over
quarterback
Mullins. I know. I know.
Who?
So
yeah.
Nick Mullins, yeah. So
okay.
When you have over $80 million sitting in IR right now.
If you guys weren't so injured, I wish you would have traded for Fitzpatrick, but you're too injured. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah. So I mean, I hope we get a solid QB. I mean, rumor mill right now is sitting at Matt Ryan, since he's in last year at Atlanta, might come over, which is fine. I'll take that. Right now Matt and Cam are the top two, so I'll take Matty Ice any day.
We're a little delayed on the chat, but you said the name of the quarterback, and Greatness is like, who? You put that in the chat.
Yeah.
Who? Yeah. So, he's picking the Saints as well as you. I'm going with New Orleans, especially the way they played last week against Tampa.
Yeah.
My God, they're on a roll. They're at this point they look poised to run away with the division. So especially having the tiebreaker over Tampa. So I'm going with New Orleans. Nori, I assume the same for you. Being favored by so much.
Yeah, the Saints have been very inconsistent this season, but when they want to make a statement, they make a statement. So that was quite a statement last week. I hope they don't come out and shit the bed against the 49ers who are injured. But I'm going to go with the Saints because not 13 injured reserve for the 49ers. It's a league record. It's a season record. So that's insane to me. And I've had Giants injuries, which were insane, but 13 IR. I'm going to go with every team that isn't the 49ers.
Yeah.
You know what's so obnoxious? Despite all the injuries, we are the top-ranked pass defense in the league.
Yeah.
Blows my mind.
Yeah, no, because you're going out against like the 49ers are still playing. They're not giving up. Like that's a good-ass coach. That's a good-ass chemistry.
Absolutely. Are the Niners playing the Jets this season or no?
They played him.
Already did.
Oh, they already played him?
already.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you may not win another game then. Yeah, that's right.
Those are 36
That's
something.
right.
It was
That's
bad.
right.
That's where we got our injuries, was playing the Jets.
That stadium, yeah. Well,
It cost us. I'm telling you, dude, it's that stadium.
hey.
Giants knew what they were doing. Cheaters.
Cheers. Top team.
Trying to get your way into playoffs.
Greatness picking the Saints as well, and obviously we're getting the Saints locally, partially because a lot of Saints fans relocated over here after Hurricane Katrina, so we're getting a good amount of Saints coverage here as well when the Dallas isn't on. The other afternoon game on Fox is Cincinnati going into Pittsburgh, and this one's a bit of a wild card for me. I know Pittsburgh is favored by 7.5 right now, but Big Ben and 3 other players are currently on the COVID list. One of the players, I forget the name of him, but he did test positive. He shares a locker right next to Ben Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger, of course, beat Dallas on a bum leg. And honestly, if it wasn't Dallas and if Ben, I don't think would have come back in the game because there's like, you know what? This is our loss. Great. But the fact that it was Dallas, we can still salvage a win with one-legged Big Ben Roethlisberger. Let's put him back in. So the injury is already one thing. Cincinnati, of course, I believe they're coming off a bye, or did they play last week? No, they're off a bye going into Pittsburgh. I'm going with Pittsburgh right now, but I might change my pick before the game starts because Roethlisberger can come off the COVID list Saturday. If he tests negative, doesn't have a positive test, he can get off the list Saturday, have a walkthrough, and then he'll be ready to play. He's on one leg, but that's kind of the wild card in it right now. Because the Steelers, when they didn't have Mason Rudolph, or when they were going with Mason Rudolph, looked horrible. It looked like last year's Steelers. So if they got to go with Rudolph to start this game and to play this game, I will probably go with Cincinnati, rested, playing better, to give the Steelers their first loss. But if it's Roethlisberger, I think the Steelers are going to win. So, Nori, you?
Words on my mouth, yeah.
Yeah.
If Ben is healthy, then Joe Burrow's highlight of the season is going to be beating the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
If the teams are healthy, he's facing. And he's really, really good, and I like him. I really do. But they're not ready for healthy Steelers. But keyword, healthy Steelers. So, which means healthy Ben. I'm the same thing. I'm reserving judgment. I'm for now picking the Steelers. But if Big Ben is, getting bodied by COVID, then I'm going to go with the Bengals. But for right now, the Steelers.
All right, and Chicken Wing.
That's unanimous. I mean, same thing with the Detroit situation. It's going to come down to Big Ben. And then JC, I had to take a quick peek. Right now, the injuries are Juju is questionable. Isaiah Bugs, the defensive end, is questionable, and Tyson Alalu is also questionable.
And then there's four players. There's 4 players on the COVID list. Roethlisberger is one of them. I think one of his linemen tested positive. He's the other, and there's 2 others that have been in close contact with them. So they're like high risk because they were in close contact with the I forget the name of the player that was tested positive. So, but yeah, they're the ones. Yeah. Well, Greatness says, yeah, shit, he probably could have beat us with a broken leg. I mean, in a way, he's a Cowboys fan. In a way, he kind of did. Yeah. So I hear you on that one. So,
yeah.
All right. So like I said, we can change our pick before the game time if need be, and it might possibly happen. So, Sunday night game is Baltimore going into New England. Last year, this might have looked like a good game, but Baltimore is favored by 6 going up to Foxborough. New England escaped barely with the win against the Jets to keep them winless. Going Baltimore here, I don't think that should come as any surprise. I know they're not the same old Ravens as there was last year, but they are trying to keep pace with the Steelers and at least try and force a tie for that division if possible. So I am going with the Ravens. Nori?
My little only comment on this is so lopsided. I don't want to say this on Sunday night. Mm-hmm. I would rather see the Bills and Cardinals just flex this. I don't know why the NFL is not on this. Patriots don't deserve to be on Sunday night. This is a garbage team, but the Ravens are going to smoke them.
Yeah, I agree with you. Normally, if this was later in the season, they might have flexed it. But the way the flexing rules are, they're only limited on what number of things they can do. And the schedule with the Masters kind of threw things off as well. So that might have thrown some stuff off as well. So, but yeah, okay, definitely that. Chicken Wing?
Sorry, I was reading something. Okay. It's all Baltimore.
Yeah.
New England has nothing.
Mm-hmm.
New England has nobody. Offense, maybe 1 or 2 guys on defense, but it's Jackson. The greatest running back ever that ever played the game. Oh, I'm sorry, he's a quarterback. That's right, he's a quarterback. But yeah, definitely. It's going to be a Baltimore. It's going to be a blowout. I don't see them competing on this game here. Okay. They're going to beat. Go ahead.
I'll say you can call him whatever you want, but you have to make sure you call him MVP first.
Well, that's true. He needs to earn it. This year. He needs to earn it this year.
No, I'm saying, no matter what, it'll always be like you can't, not just you in general, anybody. All of us were surprised. Really, Baltimore's kind of reaching on Lamar Jackson, but he shut everybody up real quick.
He did.
Real quick. So I can't even – we could call him a running back who throws touchdowns all we want, but that guy was an MVP, which is mad hard to do.
Wasn't MVP. So, just Vrabel just knew how to game plan against that. That's just one of those things. Minus
that game, though. Minus that game he was on. And that's not completely his fault because I think the Ravens had a bad game plan and really underestimated Tennessee. They had a bad game plan going back to that game. But in all seriousness, he's, is he going to be – is anybody could confuse him for somebody's going to throw for 5,000 yards? No, but he doesn't have to. No. The team operates on running, and they're so good that here's our game plan. Go ahead and stop it.
Yep.
I like them.
Greatness picking.
You said 5,000 yards. So I was eating my W's again.
Greatness says Ravens free. Yeah, it's a free win on Sunday night. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a free win.
Yeah. Now the Monday night game actually may be pretty competitive. This one could go either way, only because these teams you just never know. Minnesota going into Chicago. Minnesota's actually favored by 2 on the road. I am going with the Bears at home on a Monday night. Something about a Monday night in Soldier Field. The Bears play. Kirk Cousins, I don't know, man. He doesn't do well on the road. He doesn't do well outdoors, unless it's Lambeau in the daytime, I guess, when it's not winter. So, but I like Chicago in this one. Under the lights. I don't know if they're going to have any fans in the stands. We'll see. But I'm going Chicago. Nori made a face again. I think he's upset that he's picking the same as me as well. So go ahead.
That's strategies that just annoy the shit out of me this week because I can't get a lid on them because we're going to fall together and we're going to win together. It's irritating.
Are we the same the whole way through? Well, you reached
minus Washington.
We're the same your Dulcim reach on Washington. Yeah, that's right. So yeah.
I think we're the same on pretty much everything else. Yeah, like I trust Nick Foles and the Bears. Mm-hmm. I trust their defense. They've beaten better teams. They've been competitive against better teams. And even the Vikings' big win was against fraudulent Green Bay. I'm not impressed. So Vikings have to do a lot more to impress me. I'm going to go with the Bears.
And Chicken Wing.
You like that? You like that?
Come on.
What? No, I'm going Chicago. No. I'm going to Chicago on
For
this
a second, I thought, man, what is he doing? So
no.
Yeah.
I'm no Kirk Cousins fan. Mm-hmm. Only when he beats the Saints, because then that made our run to the Super Bowl that much easier.
All right. Well, those are our Week 10 picks. Now we're going to do a little something here. Since all of our teams have hit the halfway point, we're going to do kind of a midseason report card for each of our teams. Of course, I'm representing the Titans, Chicken Wing with his 49ers, and Nori with the Giants. If Rob were here, he'd be talking about his Bucks too. But then again, after Monday, I don't know if he wants to talk about his Bucks right now. We'll see if he comes back next week if they get the win in Carolina. So
I told you he's non-existent, bro. Non-existent.
So
the guy's off the squad.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'll kind of go first just to give you kind of a rundown of what I'm thinking we could do. So first of all, my Titans are 6-2, first in the AFC South. By record wise, we're tied with Indy, or we're a game ahead, obviously, right now. So this game this Thursday is huge. Right now I'm giving us a B grade, not a B plus, not an A minus. The loss to Cincy really stung me a bit. Having 2 straight losses. The Pittsburgh one I can understand. It's a tough game, tough team. In that the kicking game is just what is the nightmare. We just can't get that right. Why can't we get Nick Folk from the Patriots? So then again, if he comes here like Gostowski is, all of a sudden he's probably going to kick like shit. So that's
can you literally get anybody else? It's beyond me.
I know. So as far as where we're going to end up, the games on the schedule that worry me, I mentioned that we do have to go to Houston to finish the season. Hopefully we have the division wrapped up by then and a playoff spot, so we don't have to worry about that one too much. We have Indy twice in the next 3 weeks, and in between that, we have to play Baltimore on the road. So this next stretch of schedule, at least we have like a little bit extra few days to prepare for Baltimore. Hopefully we get the win this weekend in Indy. Cleveland doesn't look so tough right now with injuries they're dealing with, but we'll see. At least we have them at home. Jacksonville's Jacksonville. We have their number. Detroit we have at home, maybe on a Saturday or Sunday. And the one game I could see us losing is Green Bay on the road 2 days after Christmas. Who knows what the weather's going to be like in Lambeau, and we don't usually play well in cold weather, whether it's Foxborough, Lambeau, any outdoor stadium. So as far as how we'll end up, we're currently sitting at 6-2. I probably have us losing 2, maybe 3 more games, 11-5 or 12-4. The second time we play Indy is the one I think we could lose. Green Bay is one that I could see as a possible L. And then Houston, it just depends what's on the line then. So I'd say 12-4, hopefully winning the division. But the AFC is a bit tough. Right now we're number 4 in the standings. So if we can get to 3, at least, getting a first round bye is a long shot at this point. So I think 12-4, 11-5, and getting a 3 or 4 seed going into the playoffs is where I'm at. They're B on the season. The passing defense has to get better. Desmond King is a bright spot. Makes us look a lot better. But keep giving the ball to King Henry. I know he had a tough go of it this past week. Keep feeding him. He's going to get his yards, and he's just going to break. You just little by little, just keep it going. That's it. Keep feeding the King. Keep feeding King Henry. So, who wants this? Let's kind of go in the order by who's having a better record right now, and we'll start with Chicken Wing next. Yeah. I meant your team, not necessarily your standings on the picks.
Oh, the standings.
No, your team. Yeah.
Oh, so, Jesus. I was like, damn, why I got to go second?
So, okay. Chicken Wing, you're 4-5, 4th in the NFC West. Any other year, this might be a better situation, but go ahead and give us your grade and what your hopes are for the rest of the season.
If we were in the NFC East, we would be an A+ because we would be first in that division. Let me just get that out the way now.
We know we can do math. Move on.
I hate you so much. You know what, dude? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm gonna give our team a C+. Okay. And it's a little generous, but primarily the reason is outside of Green Bay, we've stayed competitive despite the injuries. Our pass defense is, again, a top 5 in the NFL. Mostert should be coming back within a few weeks. He's ruled out for the Saints. So the rest of our schedule is as follows: the Rams, the Bills, the Skins, the Cowgirls, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks. The funny thing is if the season were to end, we were 2 spots outside of the playoffs. That's how close we are still. Mm-hmm. We are in the toughest division in the league, which makes it that much more competitive. But at the same time, with the Rams and the Seahawks playing each other, beating each other up, those losses are crucial. So we have to eke out wins. We've beaten the Rams with less. We get them right after the Saints. Hopefully we can smack around the Bills. Obviously, Dallas, I'm going to call that a W now because I hate them. But if we manage to eke out wins and get a lot of help in the rest of the NFC, we could snag the last playoff spot. I don't want us to. I actually want us to get a draft pick. But at the same time, by the time December rolls around, half of our roster comes back outside of Kittle. So that's what I'm hoping for. If we could stay competitive with our roster coming back in December, we may actually have a shot at the playoffs. And if we do, I don't want to put the game in Jimmy G's hands, but I'm going to have to because he's our quarterback.
Greatness says, we hate you too. He's a Cowboys fan. He did pick the Bears on Monday night, by the way, but yeah. Greatness, if you're out there, if you feel brave enough to give us your report card on your Cowboys this season, by all means, go for it.
F minus minus negative 100 if you could.
Back to your Niners chicken wing. What record do they need to have, or where do they have to be when those all those injuries come back for you to say, let's take a shot, or for you to say, screw it, let's tank the season for a draft pick?
Well, we took 2 L's, which I wanted 2 of the 3 wins in that 3-game stretch. Mm-hmm. At this point, we need to be at least 6-6, maybe even 7-6 for us to take a shot, honestly. Okay. But if we take more than 7 losses, cut it, because I don't think the rest of the NFC is going to be that competitive. I'm sorry, I don't think we would compete in the rest of the NFC at that point.
Okay. Greatness says F, yeah, for his Cowboys, and it's one of those years. At least you're an honest one, because some Cowboy fans out there are just like, hey, they're going to win it all still, yeah, you know. So
I mean, let's be honest here. We have a lot of players injured, 13, and we're barely hanging on to NFC East. I'm sorry, NFC. Dallas loses 1 player, and well, look at the record.
Yeah. So. All right, Nori, your Giants currently 2-7, 4th in the NFC East, but barely. Really, the thing is, you're 4th, but you're still maybe like 1 or 2 games out of first place. That kind of a year.
We're in 3rd place. We're above Washington.
Oh, that's right. You're 3rd now because of the tiebreaker. My bad.
Which in that division, everybody's in 1st place and last place at the same time. Like,
so
for me as a fan,
camera.
Yeah, there's your injured camera. Get the practice squad camera.
For me as a fan, I'll give them a B. Right. Okay. And I'm rating very, very high because I was only looking for a few things this season, which was massive improvement. And we're finally getting it. It's coming late into the season in my tastes, but we're finally getting it. Obviously, you judge on wins and losses. If we judge on wins and losses, the Giants is a big fat F, just like the rest of the NFC least. There's a lot of talent in the division, and nobody's performing. It's kind of wild, but it's just the way it's been the last 2 to 3 years. I don't know why. The offensive line is finally waking up, and I think we get the right chemistry with adding more guards instead of tackles, rotating the guards out. We're running the ball. We ran the ball 177 yards against Washington. We ran it against Tampa Bay. We ran it against the Eagles. We ran it against everybody, which I'm shocked. So that all the more puts me like, okay, wow, what could Saquon Barkley do behind this line if it actually plays well? Could we finally give this kid room to actually run? I can't wait. Jones is, turning it over at an astronomical rate, but at the same time, he's so frustrating because he does just enough we can't win this game without him. Mm-hmm. If we had anybody else, we'd be 0-9 right now. That's the frustrating part. Going forward, I think we're going to be 3-3. We have remaining on our schedule the Bengals. I think that's winnable, barely, but I think it's winnable. We have the Seahawks, so I might not even watch that game. We have the Cardinals, again, that's going to be hard.
God, tough.
I think we could beat.
Yeah. So.
I think we can beat the Browns. And it's kind of sad because I would like to have. Well, actually, no, I'm happy we're not playing Odell. Let me scratch that. I'm glad we're not playing against them because I love that guy and I miss him. Mm-hmm. The Ravens, that's a big fat L, and we have the Cowboys. So I think we'll end it at 3-3, which would put us at 6-10, which is a massive improvement starting from 0-6, how they started. Mm-hmm. So if they could end 6-10, that's enough to save Gettleman's job, which I really wanted at the beginning of the season. Everybody's improving. I don't care how it was done. I don't care why it was done. Whatever, past is a past. Everybody's improving. Judge has brought a great culture as a rookie coach. They never do good, ever. He has instilled a fighting culture. Like, this team is like Miami's coach last season. They have no business being and fighting in the games they are. They should be tanking, but they're giving everybody the finger and they want to fight. And I love that. That's the culture we need. That's the culture I miss. So, sorry for the long rant, but overall, I have to give him an F. As a fan, it's a B, though.
You say 3-3, but if they go 3-3 or better, do you feel good about your Giants' chances next year with Barkley coming back off of injury? Like,
I'll be picking them against mostly everybody. If we can clean up Daniel Jones' turnovers, we'll probably end up with a top 10 pick if we're being realistic, maybe even top 5. If we hit the right pick, if we move Andrew Thomas to the right side, maybe we get another left tackle. I don't know. But if the offensive line plays so good, we can finally do what we haven't done in years, draft based on best available player, not based on what we need.
Okay.
So if we can just do that, maybe we get a star wide receiver. Maybe who knows how good Austin Mack is, the undrafted rookie who was tearing it up last week.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll get a tight end who can catch. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So yeah, to answer your question, I'm very excited for next year, actually, yes.
Of the 3 games you said that they are set to lose, I think you said Seattle, Arizona, and the Ravens. Which one do you think is the best chance for y'all to win?
The Ravens.
Okay.
We've been doing very good against the run.
Chicken, did you mouse Seattle over there? You think the Giants?
I said Seattle.
Do you think
he might be right? Yeah, Seattle.
They have no defense.
They don't always play like Seattle. Yeah, he might be right.
Yeah,
they have zero defense. I mean, part of me just wants you to beat them just because they're my division. but I mean, if you could look, I don't care if you go 2-5. If your 2 wins are Seattle and Arizona, it helps me get in the playoffs. I'm good. I'll be good. So
it would be nice for the Giants to beat a real team this year. It would be really nice to beat. Hell, if we go 4-2. We end 7-9. I would be very happy with that.
I would be
7-9 can win this division. 7-9 can win this division.
I would be happy. I would be happy if y'all beat the Ravens, because if we don't win the division, that might help us in the wild card race. So yeah, I'd definitely be happy if y'all beat the Ravens. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, you got some games that'll really help us out. Screw the Ravens and Browns, but I mean, the important games are the Cowboys, because
division.
Screw the Cowboys.
We absolutely have to win this division.
Just because it's the Cowboys.
We have to beat Philly. We have to beat Dallas. Like, they're
facts. That's 2.
We have to beat them.
Yeah.
So
and then beat the next 2, Seattle and Cardinals. You just lose to everybody else. I don't care. Just Seattle and Arizona. That's for me. Thank you.
If we by some miracle go 4-2, I will be very, very pleasantly surprised. But I'm expecting 3-3. But again. I don't know which Giants are showing. The Daniel Jones
4-3 if you count this week against Philly. So technically 4-3. Yeah,
I'm not counting Philly. You're right. Yeah,
so
I'm not counting Philly.
Yeah.
So what I mentioned earlier is Facebook had this reminder that I made some silly comment that the 7-9 Giants are going to win the Super Bowl, and it was 8 years ago when I made that comment on a post I did about football, and so that's why I'm hoping that you guys win the division at 7-9. And then a part of me will be okay if you win the Super Bowl at 7-9, because then you'll have 5.
2013?
No, 8 years ago, 2012. I made the post.
Well, no, because the year we won the Super Bowl in 2011 was we were 9-7.
No. What I'm saying is, I made the joke saying the 7-9 Giants win the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I'm hoping that falls in line this year. Because 2020.
Greatness comments. I'm really starting to think 6 wins the NFC least. That's possible. Yeah. I mean, look, the way I see it, where the Giants are now, whether it's 6-10 or if they get to 7-9, they're going to be the most dangerous team in the NFC in the playoffs. For them to go from 2-7 to 7-9 and win the division, they'll get to host a playoff game. Which, by the way, if any games are canceled due to COVID, they have the option to add another wild card team to each side. So there'd be, I think it's 8 teams on each side of the playoffs now. So they have that opening as well to expand it if some games get canceled due to COVID outbreaks.
Yep.
But if the Giants win the division from this point, go 7-9, 6-10, they're probably the most dangerous team in the NFC playoffs. You know,
nothing to lose.
Getting on that hot streak. That's how we ran the playoffs last year. We hobbled in, but we got hot, beat the Patriots, beat the Ravens. Should have beat the Chiefs, but the Chiefs were just on another level that year. So
Exactly.
yeah,
They were.
so
They really were.
Should have beat them.
So,
Should have been me and you.
Honestly, I picked the 49ers to win last year. So
yeah, I think I went with KC just because I want Chicken Wing.
I
I didn't want Chicken Wing to win, you know.
Yeah.
So,
You really wanted me to get 6th title? Oh, I'm gonna hold that over all y'all's heads if I got that 6th title.
anyway, my point is, if your Giants win the division, they're the most dangerous team in the NFC, regardless of record at that point. Because
I agree.
Yeah,
Judge even said we purposely don't talk about a record because it's irrelevant.
Yeah,
and I love this coach. I cannot say enough good things about.
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel bad about Cowboys fans. I hate Cowboys to death.
Mm-hmm.
But like the loyal fans that just want a good product and haven't won since the 90s, it is absolute trash and disgusting that the team didn't fight when Andy Dalton got hit. They should have started the fight immediately with Washington. Like I don't care how bad your record is. How do you not fight for even your backup quarterback? And the way Dak's been treated, I totally get it. Hell, the way Romo was treated. Romo had another year in him. Mm-hmm. And they were like, no, you know what? We like this unproven rookie. We're just going to start him. It's just their decision-making is wild because they'll have just enough talent to be taken seriously. And then they'll do some stupid internal bleeding. And it is sad to watch. I mean, I hate the Cowboys, but it's sad to watch. I don't know what you're looking forward to as a Cowboys fan, being honest with you. Like, I don't know I really don't know. You can go in any number of directions in the draft, and it may not be the right spot. And Jerry Jones has to he's got to go, man. He's got to go night-night for a long time for that team to actually, like, you know, I'm sorry to say it, Raiders didn't get better until Al Davis died.
I mean, that you
Stephen Jones is a good general manager. Let me.
He's better than Jerry. He's better than Jerry.
Absolutely.
When Jerry goes night-night, I think the Cowboys will be actually, like, you know, better.
Yeah.
Cowboys will be a legitimate threat.
I don't wish that on him. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So
he just needs to step down.
It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Never. You know, he won't do it.
He'll die with that team. Yeah. Never.
Mm-hmm. He's like the Queen of England. They just live on. You know, I mean, Prince Charles is, I think, in his 60s now, and he still hasn't descended the kingship because his mom's still alive. You know, so Jerry is just, he finds a way to keep living. Greatness until Jerry steps down, we don't have a shot. Even he agrees.
Facts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another 15 years of mediocrity, 8-8.
The problem is Jerry and his flip phone will never step down at this point. He's gonna stick it out until his last breath. He's invested so much in this. He likes making money, win or lose. He doesn't care as long as people are talking about his team, and you know that's a Vince McMahon mentality when you think about it too. As long as WWE's making money,
I get it. Did I think the Cowboys were going to do good this year? No. Mm-hmm. Did I think they're going to be this bad? Definitely not.
Nobody called that.
A lot of analysts thought they were going to be the Super Bowl contender this year.
You can't even say it's injuries because the 49ers have way more injuries than the Cowboys, and they're 4-4. So if you were really fighting for your coach, if you have a good, competent coach, and this all more proves that, you know, you guys didn't say it on the podcast, but none of us believed Mike McCarthy was the answer for Dallas because Aaron Rodgers, as much as he's driven off teammates, as much as he's driven off people, not a good person in general. But he was right saying Mike McCarthy just doesn't understand modern football, and he's proving it. So there's a nightmare on all sides.
Yeah. We'll see if the Cowboys continue to play horribly. We'll see if McCarthy even has a job next year. That'll be something to look at. So
he'll be the scapegoat probably, most likely.
Yeah. Let us know your thoughts at the end. Greatness, thanks for joining us on the live chat. We do appreciate it. We're still kind of new. Yeah. 4 weeks in. Tell your friends, subscribe, let you know. We're here every Wednesday, although Thanksgiving week, we might be doing this on Tuesday. I know every Wednesday that week we'll be prepping for big Thanksgiving dinner with family or lunch and whatnot. So This has been a blast as always talking with you guys. Thanks to everybody for the report card work. We'll try and get Rob's. He's an F for not showing up and facing the music.
I didn't use my F-bomb yet. Fuck Rob.
Okay. Yeah, the rule is if you haven't watched before, you get one
That
F-bomb
guy.
an episode. So, yeah. This has been a blast. Thank you, everybody. Chat along with us on Twitter at SportsMinerPod. That is our Twitter account. You can just join us. I'm JC, your Titans fan, at Squints84, also at KnuckleFan64. Joined as always by Nori, our Giants fan.
It's hard. It's hard,
It's
but
hard.
you know, somebody gotta like the Knicks. Somebody has to love him, right? Somebody has to love him. And then when I really want to be a sack of shit, I'll just talk about our Blu-rays our Super Bowls are on Blu-ray because it's really all I have. That's all I have. What else can I say, right? I don't have much else.
And Chicken Wing, our 49ers fan.
I mean, same here. My Super Bowl's on Blu-ray, 2 of them. I mean, I lost them both, but you know, I'm on Blu-ray. I can't speak for other fans, Dallas. But you know, yeah, it sucks being injured. Jesus.
Greatness says, and I'll use my F-bomb saying this, fuck Mike. So we'll leave on that. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Check y'all later.